It just so happens that I have what you're talking about right here. But this is some really nice tequila.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Sincoro, by the way. So let me hold that up to the camera. That feeling. Uh-oh. 0 kilobits.
Huh. You know how to read all that stuff, huh?
Yeah. Let's go. Live. Look. Live. Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Live from Prom. Valley of the Dirt people, welcome to the show that allegedly is working right now, but we attempt to tell you how to work on your motorcycles, answer your motorcycle questions. So we answer motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions. My name is Jimmy Lewis. I'm the host of this shit show, and we're in the shop again because the studio is broken. With me tonight,
Down for repairs.
Yeah. It's getting an upgrade. With me tonight, my co-host, the number one co-host of the show, evidently.
Still running strong.
Yep. Big John.
That's me.
Big John Perkins, another Valley of the Dirt native.
Yeah.
John is a professional CRF 450 catcher.
Yeah, one and done. They haven't missed one yet.
Yeah. So we're here tonight in the shop answering your questions. We're going to work on some stuff if we need to. Hopefully the sound is good. If something seems like it's broken, let us know. I'm noticing the sound is a little bit low on my dials and things like that, but maybe my microphone's upside down. I don't know.
Huh. You know how to read all that stuff, huh?
Yeah. I was taught by somebody, but I didn't pay attention when I was in school. Let's see. Oh, we're dropping a lot of frames. We're really bad. That's pretty typical, I guess. Okay, so Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Who else has a show where they are live in their garage and they'll fix anything you ask them to?
Nope, just got to be us.
Okay, so that's us. We're going to, I'll bet you these microphones are set up differently because when you talk, go ahead.
Yeah, but I just talk a lot more.
Oh,
there's a lot more projection. You want to switch?
You have a better microphone than shit.
Well,
I don't know how I can fix the frame rates and stuff. I'm really looking to have somebody that's better than me fix this stuff. Here, let's see.
Might be the dirt people internet.
Let's see. Sound is lower on your part. Okay, good. Let me try to switch the microphone. See if it's the microphone. You're just voice. So we just switched microphones. That's kind of weird, but we'll do it. So my microphone. Yeah, look at that. It went up. I think there's like apps inside of the microphone or something. Are there any buttons that we can push on these things? There's no buttons on them, is there?
Power. Just hold it. You're real professional.
Yeah, but even if I hold it, see, mine kicks way up. There's probably an app or something for the microphone. There's a box for them someplace we could read the instructions, but probably not. Okay, now we've switched the thing. John's going to yell all night, and I'm the only one that'll notice. So, as usual, we have some exciting segments. We have a Rooster Endo segment tonight. If you don't know what Rooster Endo, it's brought to you by Moto. Moto is where you can go get your bike all discoed out. You can have ECUs sent to you. They do all kinds of trick little parts, fuel pumps. Their new fuel pump for the 2024 and newer KTMs that can run out of gas without running out of gas. That is coming real soon or soon to be fixed. But this show also would not be possible without one of our main sponsors, of course, Yamaha. And tonight, if you guys don't ask a lot of questions, I'm just going to walk over and put some Fasst Company Flex handlebars on my Yamaha WR250F because I want to, because it needs to be done. And this, you go ahead.
I have a couple of questions based on your 450 back there, actually.
Okay.
I was wandering around it a couple minutes ago.
Wait, your microphone's not even working now, I don't think. Check to see.
Check.
Okay, yeah.
It's all right.
You're going to have to hold it like a regular microphone.
Maybe be really aggressive.
We could copy a you're going to have to hold that up. Yeah, there's an excuse. Here's an excuse for Well, John, how come you had like 5 Coors Lights? I hooked my microphone to it.
Test. Oh, yeah, that's a ton better now.
The Coors Light microphone. Okay, we just decided to have some beer flavored water.
Yeah.
Tonight, and then we'll do the segment where we drink tequila. We're finishing a bottle of tequila tonight. It's Sincuro. Let me go grab it. Why don't you go grab that? I'll keep fucking rattling off.
Oh yeah, no stuff all over there.
Yeah, and Hobble is there. So thanks for the sound update, Victor. Hit it with a hammer. Of course, you guys are on a little bit of a delay, so just know that like the chat and all that stuff runs on a little bit of a delay. But tonight's tequila is Sincuro. I'll hold this up right here. See, we're having a low tide situation in there, but we're going to make that a non-existent. And then if Janie's watching, my bartender, she likes collecting these bottles for making lamps. Janie, you can come over and pick it up. We might have a special guest appearance tonight.
Are we allowed to talk about that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
no NDAs there.
No, it's not super top secret. So there might be. Everybody says I hate electric bikes, and so I don't. I actually went riding on Surons the other day.
Those are cool.
Yeah, they're super cool. And like people, I don't know why people think I hate them, but a friend of mine, we got in this little thing, and he sent me pictures of him riding Surons, and I said, "Have you disclosed that yet?"
They're so cool, but they're so not at the same time.
They're horrible. I mean, they are from a motorcycle guy perspective. And they haven't changed. I rode. I don't know if it was a Suron, but I rode something that was exactly like it. Literally in the God, it wasn't even the Orleans Arena. It was like a mini moto event, and it was at the South Point.
Recently, or
no, 15 years ago, maybe more.
What was the brand? Why can't I think of it? They went out of business maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, Alta.
Yeah,
there's Alta. Now, Alta was good.
They were great.
Alta was good. There was what's the other one that still makes? They make a lot of street bikes and stuff. There's I can't remember the names. But so back then there was like 4 or 5 companies that were making electric bikes, and there was a Suron, but it wasn't a Suron. It was the same. It was the exact same thing. It's just they had these things, and they had this race at Minimo. They always had this electric race, and I did it. And I rode a couple different. One of them actually had a transmission and a clutch, which was really weird and really stupid.
I don't know if I like that. It kind of defeats a lot of the purpose for me.
The good thing about it is because you could upshift and use the big snap of power. You could kill the big snap of power because it was all torque because the controllers were all wrong. And there was a lot of engineers from these companies engineers from the companies that had their development going on in the United States. I think there was some people from Alta there, and from somebody in the chat. Tell us what the name Talara. No, Talara was not the company. It was. They're like one of the main e-bike commuter bike companies.
I try my best not to look into it too much because the problem is there's so many like good sides to it that I want to like, and then there's obviously the manly sides that I don't like, or the lack thereof.
Now I don't even judge manly or not manly, and it's kind of it was funny because we went so I rode these things a long time ago, and I appreciated some of the stuff they were trying to do. And other stuff, I said this, they're not ready for prime time. And so my discussion on electric bikes always starts with, so far, the number one best electric bike I've ever ridden was here we go with names again, the OSET.
Oh, the guys that make
the little tiny kids trials bikes. Because the issues that I have with the controller, which is your throttle,
which makes sense that they would kind of have that dialed because
they're trials guys. So theirs wasn't nearly as bad as most of them because most of them were on-off switches and then lost power. And so they were trying all these different things. The battery life wasn't that good. It hasn't changed incredibly, but it has gotten better. All these things that they're working on. And now with the Surons, that's just a platform that everybody gravitated to. They're on. So I rode Surons. They're really fun. You can do crazy stuff on them. If you come from a mountain bike side, and I'm not a mountain biker, maybe they handle okay. But for a motorcycle guy, they are pathetic.
Yeah.
They're horrific. The suspension on them is kind of, actually, most things on them are kind of junk by motorcycle standards. It's 1970s motorcycle standards. You're going to break it.
Yeah, I know they have a lot of problems breaking frames, snapping head tubes off, stuff like
they're kiddo things. But then the thing is, you put better suspension on it, then you break the frame. You get all this stuff. So
the adventure bike thing over the other side.
You need a bigger battery pack. You need to get a different controller. That does all these different things that you can program. And there's all this stuff you can do. It's just like 1970 motorcycles. You buy the motorcycle, you'd send the engine off and have Don and Lum report it, and they'd weld a pipe up for you. You'd have Kernut build you some shocks or get some Marzocchi forks. Nothing on it was stock. And this is where electric bikes are now. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to grow. And one of these manufacturers is going to figure it out. Because when I walked around that motorcycle show in Vegas, there was 25 different Surons. They weren't Surons. They were Surons, and there were Verons, and there were Wanrons and non-Ron and every different thing. But it was exactly the same thing because they just copied it and knocked it off. And at some point, somebody's going to say, hey, you know what? This is a pretty nice platform, because Segway had one. Okay. And they actually looked like they looked at the Suron and said, oh, this is pretty cool. We're going to make ours.
There was a full-size dirt bike. This was like before Stark came out with the super bike, right? And they raced the Glen Helen 24-hour on it.
The Suron did.
That was a Suron.
That was a janky little Suron that the guys, and that guy was there. I talked to him.
This was like maybe 3-4 years ago, something like that.
He has like a Suron users group, and he's big into it. And he knows how to fix them and modify them. And yeah, they did the Glen Helen 24-hour on a Suron, and they finished. And that's like kind of stepping stones. But I don't hate them. I had fun riding this thing around the whole time. I'm just going, will somebody please engineer some handling into this vehicle? Because I ride TTR 125s, which in the Suron actually has bigger wheels than that. It has 18 and a 21, or at least the ones that I rode had, full size wheels on it. The tires were smaller because it doesn't have the power. And then I'm thinking, will someone please learn from the companies like Alta and Stark? Evidently, I've ridden the Stark, so I can't comment. But I think they've learned how to.
You haven't ridden one yet.
I've not ridden one. They won't let me ride them.
I can't talk to a real person that's ridden.
Well, yeah, they're all influencers or something. And then there's people that have bought them, or the guys that own suspension companies, or guys that do this. I see them, and like when I asked for a test bike, they told me how they wanted it tested, and that's not the way that I operate. I'd like to ride like a regular person. So,
more importantly, what is a Yamaha YDX
Moro
7?
I don't know. Victor, you been drinking? Well, we need to hear. Pour some of that Sincuro. Let's have some of that. So anyways, I don't hate electric bikes, even though my friend thinks I did. I did identify as an electric. I did. He was wondering why I didn't post us riding the electric bikes, but my friend did. And it's just the way it works. So yeah, send a Stark over. They have the new E Stark, or the Enduro version. Yeah, then. Because the day that I requested to ride the Stark, they were all into letting me ride the motocross bike.
They have an Enduro one too.
Like I know the day they agreed to, we'll get you a bike, and then they sent over how it was expected to be tested, and they didn't want me riding it off road because obviously they did a little research on who Dirt Bike Test is. Mm-hmm. They didn't want me riding it off road, and I'm like, I'll ride it how I see fit, and if they know anything about it, I ride motocross bikes on motocross tracks, and I test them that way. It's not to say that I won't go trail ride it to see what it's like if I feel the need. But they said absolutely you cannot ride it off road. The next day they announced, oh, we're coming out with an Enduro version and one with reverse. I'm like, what's reverse for? Or actually, they said no, we have reverse.
I can't think of what I would use reverse for on a dirt bike, but maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either. But well, we just had a reverse problem a minute ago.
Maybe if it climbs a really good hill backwards.
Well, no, you don't want front wheel drive.
I don't know.
That's really good. I remember this stuff being really good. It's got all good tequila stuff.
Oh.
It's got all good tequila stuff, but no bad
that's
tequila
fantastic.
Stuff. Oh Jesus! Hold on. Check. That's what happens when you do it in the shop. The compressor turns on. Here, let me leave my mic away when this thing's on. John, hold the show.
Yeah, that's the Yamaha electric bike.
Okay. Well,
I don't actually know anything about that bike, nor have I even seen or heard of that bike. Is Victor, is that like the pedal mountain bike with a electric assist, or is this like a full electric bike?
Wait, when's that?
Well, Victor commented.
Oh, it's the Yamaha electric mountain bike.
They're like kind of like KTM has a electric.
They're
like a giant.
yeah, they're pedal bikes. Yeah, just like thing. So OSET, yeah, that was the name for sure. OSET was the bike. The Start Varg, I haven't ridden it, love to, but
there's a lot of like for them. But kind of the same thing you were talking about early on with like, throttle response on and off. Like I rode the Altas years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember jumping on it and it was on like the Glen Helen REM track.
Right.
But I remember it being awesome, but it was an REM track. They were kind of like 250s, slow 250s. So you could really ride them hard. It really didn't matter if it was an on-off switch because my test ground was, they give you 2 laps or whatever. And it was pretty hard laps. So that didn't matter so much.
And I went trail riding on the Alta. The Alta guy came out and they didn't care about motocross tests. They wanted us to test them off road. And we took 2 of them and put 4 hours on them on the battery, came back at like kind of almost 0. And the guy was a little worried because we went below what you shouldn't, like 20% or something. We kind of did it. But when I started we rode way uphill in the beginning. I mean, we did like a 4,000 foot climb up in the mountains and it was all downhill coming back. And they didn't have regen at the time. We rode them back down and I got back down. I still had like 30 or 40%. And then, so I started really using it. And then it like goes into some like warning kind of limp mode. And I mean, I want, what happens if you have to use it? So, I wrote it back in. I'm not abusing it, but I want to learn about this kind of stuff.
I want it to be there if I need it.
Yeah. So, okay, here we go. What does Anthony 98 MX ask? By the way, this show brought to you by Yamaha, by the way. You're gonna
I don't think it's on.
You don't think it's on?
I don't even think it's on.
Okay, hold on. Let me check to make sure. Maybe it is off.
I think it's picking up your volume.
It's on now. Hey, turn the mic on, dumbass. Okay, this show brought to you by Yamaha. Yamaha sponsors our microphones that sometimes we turn on. We were probably saying good things about other brands, and we couldn't leave that microphone.
Once we spent so long talking about batteries, we had
batteries. Yeah, we had to. Well, yours will last longer than mine. So, okay, John, thanks for figuring that out. Okay, if you were in the chat and you didn't figure out that John's mic wasn't working, bad on you. Oh, look at this. We got a call from Trevor Hunter.
Put him in.
Trevor Hunter, welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. You're live on the show.
Still going on?
Free bud.
It's still going on. This is the show that supports you in the lifestyle you become accustomed to, buddy.
They keep it going.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
As possible.
So and the only reason you called back is.
You called earlier saying you're gonna give me a bunch of money.
Right. That's how I get kids to call me back these days, John.
Why I keep showing up.
Yeah. So on the line, Trevor Hunter, Dirt Bike's number 2 test rider. Number 1 are these kids I just got a hold of up in Reno. I think they're 10 and 8, and they're going to be they rode the mini.
I got a couple of good ones.
Your guys didn't talk. I interviewed them at the thing last night or the other night. So Trevor, welcome to the show. We just figured out how to turn our second microphone on. Is that an improvement?
I guess that could be looked at as an improvement.
Okay. Have you?
What's being said?
Have you texted all your friends and told them that they should watch this show because we're going to make fun of you?
I only have like maybe one friend at most, so I'll text him right now.
Okay, good.
Gonna be snobby.
When I was your age, I didn't have any friends, so you're doing pretty good. So what's new in the world of dirt bike test and what you're testing these days?
We just got a 2-stroke performance power kit for the Gas 3. So I've been riding that a little bit.
So I got a question that is going to relate to something else.
Yep.
Have you run it out of gas without fully running out of gas?
I have not yet. I raced at SRA on Sunday, and it was pretty low in the tank, but I had no problems.
I was available on Sunday. I was available on Sunday. I didn't get a call to come out and ride some of the new 450s.
I told you there's a night race. I told you there's a day race. So
yeah, but like I could have received a call and said, "Hey, Jimmy, come out and like ride brand new bikes with brand new tires, and I'll pay for the gas, and I can probably get you in the gate and all that stuff." Remember when I used to do that to you?
should have called Scott for that one.
Oh,
Is he still a Cali guy?
well, I think he seems to still. That's the one manufacturer you can still get bikes from. Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know. Does he still get them from Cowie? Or does he steal them from you?
I have our off-road 450. I'm not sure if he has anything. He's a Triumph guy now.
Okay, yeah. Well, that was my bike.
Yeah.
He just went and picked it up before I could get there, so I need to go get it before he puts big springs on it. Because actually, I need to go ride that because I'm going to go ride the Triumph 450 Enduro, which is in late June, Trevor. So should we include that in our 450 comparison?
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. Well, I'll ride it and then we'll tell you whether it needs to be included or not. Because I don't even know. I'm not even sure whether it's coming as a off-road only bike or it's actually street legal. They haven't really talked a lot about that whole realm yet, but we'll find out. There's a question for you, Trevor. What is Trevor riding in the Big Bear ride?
I don't know what I'm riding, but I'm racing. I'm planning on racing a 300L again, but possibly with some modifications.
Okay, wait. Yamaha is one of our main sponsors, and I know you've been trying to get a real ride.
Do they make a 300L?
No, but they have a 230 or 250 XT250.
XT250. Yep.
Or the TW 200.
The TWs are so cool.
Possibility.
Okay, I think we should see if we can start getting you. I'll build a proposal up to get you on a TW 200 for your dual sport race. You call it a race. I think they're having a dual sport race someplace else in a couple weeks. Like I don't know when these dual sport things turned into races.
I mean, how is it not a race?
It's a bunch of guys. I'm not poo-pooing on dual sport rides at all. I mean, I think think so highly of dual sport riders and guys that are just core dual sport guys. But since you haven't even ever really raced in your life, or maybe you raced and didn't do that good, now you can show up at an event and you can claim like you're like overalling something. You good for you. I mean, wear that hat. Stand on the. Do they have a podium there?
Big Bear, they have like a little backdrop. You just get a picture with your finisher flag.
Well, if you're the first one there,
Do they have five? Do they have 5 spots like your goofy mountain bike races do?
No, I'm not. I didn't finish that high up, so I didn't see if there were 5 spots or 3.
They weren't sitting there.
Yeah. Okay. Don't hate. You people don't hate on dual sport rides because they're super awesome. I mean,
I support. That's why I'm going back.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good to have an event to get people out there and stuff like that. But here's my problem with a lot of them is that a lot of these people that put on dual sport rides go out and find really good trails, and then they run everybody on them, and they never come back and do any work on the trails or something. It's not like when you have a race and you go and maintain and groom the course, or you put on an enduro and stuff, and you're able to change the routes and stuff like this. A lot of times these guys go in and just hammer it, and the club or the guy that puts it on just takes the money and runs, and there's no reciprocal to it. And they don't even take the time, the promoter, the club, the whatever, they don't even take the time. They tell people, don't come back here or stuff like that. But it's like, tell them to come back with a Polanski and come back and, put some water bars on the trail or move some rocks or do something good. Like my thing is because it's all club and volunteer, and you should come out and volunteer for a day on the trails that you ride on. Mm-hmm. And then you get to ride the dual sport ride in the area because you will ride different. I don't know. Have you heard me go down this path before, Trevor?
I haven't, but I don't disagree because after riding the Big Bear ride last year, in the moment, I did not want to go back because of how beat up pretty much every trail is on that ride.
Heather yelled at me one time for doing a Brody on a fire road, and I never did it again.
Oh, Heather, my wife yelled at you. Oh boy, a fire road.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Just like was like backed in on a
These
fire
are
road.
these are things that I don't know about my own wife. Yeah. So
it was based on that.
Yeah. Well, she's listened to me bark at it for a long time, but anyways, and let me be the first person to cast the stone in the glass house, because I used to be an idiot like all of you other guys that are doing this stuff. And I learned the hard way because I had a really good friend, a couple of really good friends, old guys that told me, you dipshit, don't cut the trail. Don't burn through the water bar. Here, come out and work with us. Oh, no, you won't come out and work with us? Good. I'm never showing you another trail in my life. Hey, you want to go on a trail ride? I go on a trail ride with these guys who ride for a half an hour. And next thing you know, we show up and there's a bunch of tools on the trail. Mm-hmm. And guess what? It's like, they're like, yeah, how do you think these trails got here, you little sucker? Pick up that pick. Start hitting these rocks. Here's a rock bar. Learn how to use it. So I know no kids listen to this pod. Did you have 20 of your kiddie friends like listen to this thing right now, Trevor?
I don't know if it's a good idea to say if I have 20 kiddie friends. Okay,
it's 32 minutes into this stupid show. So when you go back in and clip it and make a clip, put this on the Insta YouTubes or whatever they call them, and put it up there and just that last little rant, and then tell them to like and share to their friends.
You can do that.
Okay, we got a question up there. Mike Romies?
Not fully understanding. Street legal 450 Enduro, December or January?
Oh, he's talking about the Triumph. The first wave of 450s is off-road only. Maybe he's a Triumph dealer or knows something that we don't. But Mike, thanks for that info.
I thought the motocross version was at dealers now.
The motocross version is. Yeah. The Ricky Carmichael only edition. Yeah. So you get it, and you get it with a 4 on it.
Sweet.
So yeah. And is Scott still running the 4 on it, or he put his numbers on? Has he got 57 on it yet? Does Scott know we give him this much crap on the show?
They'd have to tune in. So
I would think he'd have to pay attention, which I don't do either. So probably not.
Okay, let's never tell him, because I hardly pick on you at all unless you're actually physically on the show.
On the show.
Yeah.
I shot a bunch of photos and video of him last week on the Triumph. I don't remember what number he had on the bike, actually.
Isn't it weird how you don't see this kind of stuff? Well, we just got a bunch of questions. What does Asher Leto want to know?
They said, funny enough, Jimmy, you influenced me to work on trails, and now I'm a trail ranger in North Idaho, building and maintaining trails for a job.
Oh, he took Brian's old job.
That's an awesome gig.
Yeah, he was living in
he was living in Idaho.
No, Asher Leto was in San Diego on a DRZ. He was the guy that kept asking. He wanted to race his DRZ in District 37 or District 38 or 36, 38, I guess it was. Okay, what does Utah Desert Racer want to know?
That's a lot for me. What was the name of the first mainstream electric dirt bike before start? I think we were just talking about that.
Alta. Yeah. Alta was. But we're thinking of the name of that other company. We still haven't figured it out. It was the company. No, it's still there. They're based. They're a Bay Area company. They have an adventure bike. Someone should figure it. Yeah. Yep. Oh well. So yeah, it was Alta. But anyways, there's some of that left. I want more, please. Yeah, Trevor. Yeah, you need to get us more sponsors on the show. Actually, there's a guy who's a fan of the show who is sending us some mezcal. Yeah, he's sending us some.
That's better.
Yeah, he said he's sending us some really good mezcal up from. So when I get that, we will test. I think it might be coming tomorrow because I'm getting an undisclosed package from stamps.com. So that might be the one. Okay, Trevor. Anything else that you need to report on before we send you off to the? Are you going into your awesome shop to go work on bikes, kind of like my awesome shop?
No, I send my dad's bike, my brother's bikes. I send all theirs there because they don't actually work on them or ride them. So those go there for storage, and I work on my stuff here
out in the parking lot, the driveway.
Yep, all in one.
Yep, you could move out here. You got a big old shop.
There's room.
There's room in my shop.
I actually heard Jimmy will build you a new garage if you come out here.
Yeah, it's a rumor. Yeah.
Wow. For free, huh?
No, it's got its price. Everything has a price tag around here.
I don't have to be a Baja champion or a Dakar champion or anything. It could just be
just come with money.
S-Ray night race champion.
Yeah, show up with money. I go riding all the time. If you live around here and you're close by, you find out we go riding all the time. And you go riding with us. You just ride out of the door. It's amazing. You don't have to go drive for 2 hours.
And actually, they're still racing the DRZ in woods races instead of desert.
That's better than the desert. I tell you what. So,
Jimmy, we won the S-Ray night race on Saturday night.
You and who else?
That Tyler Belknap kid, Too Fondo.
Who?
And then Cody Lee, Yamaha test rider.
Who? Tyler who?
Yeah, I can't remember his last name, actually.
How many riders were on the team?
We had 3.
3. How many were you allowed to have?
3 or 4? I'm not sure.
You could have 4 people on. How long was the race?
2 hours.
You girls, jeez. I remember when 2-hour races were for one person.
Oh, I thought you were going to jump in and say you could have done a hero lap.
Oh, how come you didn't call me out? I could have jumped in and done a hero lap on your team.
I invited you several times. You just never...
I was busy. I went to my friend's retirement party.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. My friend's daughter turned 18 and graduated. And guess what he called it? His retirement party.
Retirement party.
Yeah, I saw your buddies there. I saw TJ, the guy that can snap axles on a YZ450.
You got lots of speed to do that.
Yep. I saw Cooper, the guy who can take bikes that we get him a lot of parts for and sell for more money. That guy. Yeah. All your friends.
All my friends.
Well, they're your age, so I figured they're all your friends. You should they might want to be your friend because they were my friend because they thought I had free motorcycles.
I've got enough friends.
Speaking of free parts, though.
Oh, free parts. Yeah. So, okay, Trevor. Well, hey, thanks for calling Tech Talk Taco Tuesday and checking in.
One last thing. When are you going to come ride the gas to see how the 2-stroke performance kit runs?
I should hop on a motorcycle riding right now like the kids down the street. You hear 2 and 4-stroke sounds right now out the door of this shop. You hear that in your neighborhood, Trevor?
Also cloud cover in southern Nevada.
Surrounds in our neighborhoods.
Yeah, there's actually snow up on the mountain right above my house right now. It came today. So
it rained at Glen Helen today. That was nice.
Yeah. I wish I was there. I was doing something different. So, okay, yeah, I'd like to come. Hey, but I want to bring the Taco Moto fuel pump kit that won't let the bike run out of gas because he wants to get it tested a little bit more before its final release. I guess it works, but he wants people that thrash things to test it.
Does that fit in all tanks like IMS and Cherubies?
I think because I think all the tanks have. Well, IMS actually makes a tank that relocate. You have to replace the whole pump with the old pump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They actually. What do you have on a stock tank or IMS?
Right now I have a stock, and I have in the Cherubies tank for it too.
And so the Cherubies is a little bit bigger, and it uses the stock pump.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting you the fuel pump.
All right.
Then we can go for a real ride. We can go riding more than like your 20 minutes like you little kids do. We'll go for a man ride.
A man? I'm not a man.
Well, we'll work on it. and then we'll fix some water bars and we'll trim some brush and all that stuff.
Right thing.
All right.
Okay, I'll tell you about that ride we're doing real soon.
Perfect.
Okay, Trevor, I need to talk to your dad about having him come out here and have a meeting with our town people about a GP on a golf course.
Okay.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.
That was Trevor Hunter, everybody. Dirt bike tests he's the number 1 test rider because I'm trying to retire. So thanks for jumping in on the comments. If you have any real tech questions where you want to ask questions in the chat, like it says here. So we have this whole shop that it's ready to go. We could work on something. And if you don't ask any questions, I'm going to go put handlebars in that nice, sweet WR250 that you see right there. We have this other camera that's pointing at the screen. See, it shows our backs right now. We can wave at the camera. There's a little bit of a delay, but that will show what's going on. But this shop is wired for sound, as we like to say in the industry. but this is some really nice tequila.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Sincoro, by the way. So let me hold that up to the camera again there one more time. In case you were wondering which one we're having tonight. That's for it's a nice looking bottle. It's probably pretty expensive. I have no idea how I got it. Somebody they like me more than I think. And they got us that. So
honestly, the bottle's shaped about like my kid's riding style currently.
What's that? Crooked or straight up and down?
Straight up.
Oh, he's got the adventure bike riding style.
Forward. Oh, I can't shake him of it. Been trying.
You know, we had a tornado here the other day, like literally a mini tornado. Yeah, I just watched the trees try to break out there because we have thunderstorms coming our way.
Hopefully tonight we're supposed to go ride in the morning with the boys. I'm not doing anything, but
well, now that you can ride, John just did his first ride back from broken femur.
Oh my goodness!
From one shop to the next.
Electric start trail bikes.
Yeah,
so, there was actually someone earlier in the comments that asked. It was a what 250 should I buy type of question. You know,
we missed it. Well, let's go back.
I don't know if he's.
Oh yeah, there. Anthony 98 MX.
Yeah.
What's a good 250 for a 16-year-old 135-pound rider? I've been stuck between the Honda and the Yamaha. Okay, so this is a good question. I hope Anthony's there. I wonder if I can. I don't know if I can. No, I don't want to block the user. No timeouts. So hopefully Anthony's there. Shoot, I wonder if there's a way to reach back to them. Is Anthony? If you're there, let us know. But I'll go ahead and answer that. 250 for a 16-year-old. Here's the question. 16-year-old means nothing. Okay, so I like it when people ask, questions, but you give us a little more info. And
I was this size at 16, so
yeah, and when I was 16, I was a pipsqueak. Yeah, I was tiny, so it'd be better if I have a 150-pound 5'2" or 180-pound 5'9", something to the size. Because when you go 250,
I think they said 135, which is I think pretty small for 16.
Right, and here's the did he say?
Yeah, 135-pound rider.
What's good? Oh, 135-pound rider. How tall is he? Because 135-pound is tiny. And what are we talking about? 250? Are we talking about CRF or YZ, or are we talking about TTR or CRF-F? It's
a hard question.
It's a hard question. That's where I was going with. If you can be a little bit more specific with the questions, or at least after we don't answer your question for 10 minutes, go, you dipshits, you're more interested in that bottle of tequila than my question.
Yeah,
would you answer it?
All things considered.
So let's go to Ashley's question. We'll roll back in when Anthony comes because we're all running on a little delay. We've dropped 2.6% of our frames. I need to upgrade my computer. What's happening? Yeah, well.
Let's answer this question.
Okay, Ashley's question.
Before I get all spun up. Let's see. One of our Rangers bikes is a 2020 KTM 300 XCW. There's our Tornado. Oh, I smell rain too.
Okay.
It's mostly stock. FMF exhaust is the only mod. I assume that's for the spark arrestor. It has good mid but terrible low and top end power. Struggles to idle too. Need tips to improve the ride.
Ashley, so number one, since it's a Ranger bike and you probably have a good relationship with the dealer that the Ranger bought it from, and they usually have a contract and a maintenance schedule and stuff like that, take it back to the dealer and have them make sure it has the latest mapping inside of it, because there's a lot of different maps, especially 19 and 20 versions. There's a lot of different maps, but the one that they will put it in now is really, really good. They kind of have a final version. They're not making that bike. It's a little bit different now.
Yeah, but they've ironed it out.
They've ironed it out. They've got a good map. Get that map and put it in. Don't go down the I want to put this on it or that on it or different CDI. Just go get the latest upgraded map and see if that helps. Aside from that, some things that cause it to do what you're talking about doing, which is really strange that it has good mid, but terrible and low and top. Usually it's good mid, good bottom,
one or the other,
and mid and like bad top or not as responsive enough.
Which that's not so much for like TPI and TBI type bikes. But like in the carbureted days, you know, 2-strokes would be, you could have very little compression, but with RPM, they still make good power up top. So that was why a lot of people would like have a hard time figuring out like, oh, my bike's junk, because they're like, oh, it lost some bottom end, but it still screams on the top end. That was
because your rings are worn out.
Yeah, but it would heat itself up, it would build compression, and it would make power up there.
Yeah, and the pipe shouldn't affect it, but it should have really good bottom and decent mid, but no. But if you're equating no, and this is the problem, is when, again, like when people are describing stuff, I have to be kind of like this. I have to have ESP over here and kind of thing. If you're talking about that having really good or not good bottom because it's so smooth, that's normal on a TPI bike. And then same thing, the 300s don't really rev, so maybe that's bad top. Maybe that's just a characteristic of that. If you can put it in first gear, let the clutch out, idle down to almost nothing, and roll the throttle on. You know, and I always say, if you want to check if your bike's doing good, do a third gear roll on. Put it in third gear, idle along, put it in third gear, let it to where it's just about stalling, and then just roll the throttle on. If the bike picks up and pulls and pulls and pulls to the point where it goes, you know, you feel the power build and build and build and build, and then it starts going into over rev, and then it goes, you know, that's probably the way it is. But if you're doing a roll on and it's doing peaky, it's coming on and off, then something's wrong.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a broken record every time I talk about fuel injected or TBI, TPI, you know, KTMs and Austrian bikes and stuff like that. But it's so many people confuse what you said, low bottom end for smooth power delivery.
Yeah.
Same thing we talked about last 2 weeks ago about the KX450.
If you want to know what we talk about, go back in the Dirt Bike Test archives of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. John came in episode 3, 4.
That was early.
Early, back when we were doing it in a Mexican restaurant. You could hardly hear it. Sound is horrible. Kind of like this show. The video quality isn't that good.
I really got better.
Kind of like this show. Yeah, nothing's really improving other than I don't know what's improved. We're just 247 episodes deep in this mess.
Rolling good.
So anyhow, yeah, you don't want to sound like a broken record, because a lot of times we have new people that listen to it, and then sometimes people listen to this, and then they'll comment on it later on in the comments when they're watching on the YouTubes, or they send us an email. It's my name @dirtbiketest.com. If you don't know what my name is, I say it enough where you got to figure it out, because I don't want because you know those AI robots that they're building. I said bad things about them on episode like 150.
Can't wait for them.
They're coming back to get me.
Yeah.
I got a message from my electric bike magic person.
I can't see that far, but that it's like the bottom end doesn't exist. You can't get it to lug like our other bikes on the Idaho single trail and switchbacks.
Lug like
could very well be a worn out motor.
Yeah, how many hours are on an Ashlito? That's a good question. And lug a good running KTM TPI bike is like the best lugging bike there is. I mean, way better than carbureted ones. So yeah, something's obviously up. So in just like things that can be up, there's the crankcase pressure sensor was kind of an issue on those bikes. You just never know. I mean, I don't know when they would fail, so that could be kind of a thing. Let's see. Thanks for the map ID. Our dealers keep screwing us over and are incompetent, but I'll tell my boss about it, and that might help the bike.
I assume as a
I know a lot of different dealers and there's some of them are super. If you're working on trails, they want to help you. There are so many good dealers that want to help the trail workers and the ranger program and stuff.
That place is phenomenal for trail.
They won't screw you. So Ashley, send me an email and I'll get you hooked up with the right people if there's any kind of an issue. There are some dealers that just see the government bike come in, because they look at them and they go, these guys don't know anything. And then it's like, okay, I can do it. So about our thing that was going to show up, not your deal, but the controller failed in a way that the kids knew about. I have a new one installed on Sunday. Yeah, so anyways.
Okay, that thing will be back.
Yeah, I broke it. I broke an electric bike today.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Didn't even get to ride.
I wanted to show you something super top secret, but I broke it. So, and I didn't did you see me do anything mean or abusive?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You barely got your leg over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Favorite tequila?
That right this second.
I'm going to go. The Syncuro right now is winning the war right now. But Joshua, so right now, and I'm going to do a tequila podcast, by the way. I've been threatening to do this. I'm working on getting it all set up. But so right now, there's a tequila called Adictivo out of Mexico.
I've heard.
But it's the Mexican one that's really good. And then there's another one. That's yours. I made it special for you. I'll take that other one over there. It's next to the 2-stroke oil. There's an Adictivo that's really good. Of course, I'm a big fan of the Clase Azul, and then the other one is Don Cayo. You can't get that in the United States.
Do you like the Clase Azul Añejo? I don't like their Añejo. The black bottle, not the hard black bottle, like the tinted bottle.
The super expensive black bottle, the Ultra Añejo.
No, the regular Añejo. It's like
have you had that with us? No, this stuff's $2,800.
Oh yeah, no.
That's really good. But the more that, and George says he replaced it with Kirkland. He says he took all the real good stuff and replaced it with Kirkland. But it's really good. I mean, the thing is, we brought some back from Mexico the last trip I went down there, and we had to taste it, and we couldn't figure out where it fit. So we started bringing out all of our other bottles, and that came out. And I mean, there might be this much in the bottom. It is a little tiny bit. So
I stand by the white and blue Clase Azul.
The
Reposado. It's such a good tequila for that price range.
And I think this Syncuro is the same.
If that's in the same price
range, we could probably check. Somebody out there in the internet's world, check the price on a Syncuro tequila. This is a Syncuro Añejo, and then check it to a Clase Azul Reposado.
Yeah, I think a Reposado is like 200, 220, something like that.
Is it that much now? It was 120.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's
okay.
I don't think it's been that in a handful of years.
Yeah. But if you're looking for a price point in the United States,
if that's $120 bottle of tequila, I'll buy 10.
Yeah. So in the United States, there's another one called Loma Azul. That's a good price point tequila. Hey, I should save this for my tequila podcast. But anyways, thanks for asking that question, Josh. Let's see. I'm going to the store tomorrow. Going to scoop up some stuff and going to try it out. How often do you repack your muffler on a dual sport?
I spent 2.5 hours this afternoon repacking the silencer on a KTM 50. Jimmy,
that needed to be done, by the way.
I'd done it that day. That day we showed up out there, I had done it that morning.
So did you pack it super tight?
I did it. I've done that thing every which way I've ever known how to pack a silencer.
Okay, Josh, we're gonna get to your question.
Sorry,
we're gonna run down. This is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Yeah. We run a little loose.
So, backstory: I showed up to the Pahrump ride day at our local track, and my son's KTM 50 is the most cackling, loud motorcycle.
It's got a crack to it. It's not the total noise. It's just the crack back. Yep. Each stroke of that 2-stroke motor. Yeah,
and it's got a FMF. Head pipe and a silencer on it.
Is the silencer a shorty?
Oh, it's this long, but it's a 50. So,
but yeah, it's.
I think it is a short. It doesn't specifically say shorty, but I mean it's only.
But that's a modified 50.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a rowdy 50. But granted, so I've packed it 20 times since I bought the bike.
Right.
And sometimes I get it pretty quiet, and most of the time it ends up cackling like that. I've packed it as loose as possible. I've packed it how I normally do it, which is just basically roll it up and stuff it in there.
Right.
It's not too tight, not too loose, kind of somewhere.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
That's how you're supposed to do it. I did all 3 of them today. I spun it as tight as I could possibly get it. Put the bike. This is true dirt bike test style.
Yeah. No, I like this. So I'm interested.
Started the bike, cackled super loud. I took it apart. I filled the 30-degree tip on the exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
I filled it with packing and crammed it all together. Still cackled because I was thinking maybe there was some reverb that happens in the back of the tip. Pulled it apart. Did it normal. It got a little bit better, but it was still really
normal,
loud.
Meaning kind of light,
just not fluffy. Still
fluffy.
Has fluffed it. The 4th time I put it together, I took and I'm running the it's the Tusk Rocky Mountains mat, not like the stringy stuff, like the mat of
right. It's kind of like a compressed.
Yeah,
it's hooked together. I might have some here.
I took that and peeled it apart and packed it so loose I didn't think it would work at all. I figured it would all blow out. I mean, it was like barely in there.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a regular motorcycle. I mean, it's like I put half as much in there as I normally.
Okay, so if you want to support Dirt Bike Test, by the way, he just said Tusk. Go to Rocky Mountain MC. Click through the link on dirtbiketest.com and we get a small portion. John, when you bought that stuff, and it was here in a day, right?
Do.
Did you go through the Dirt Bike Test link?
Do.
Oh, yeah.
Do.
I like getting that $135 check a month from all my friends.
I even asked you if you made me money doing it.
So you guys, if you want to help, feed my cat who's cruising around right here right now, she's going to get weighed on our scale. Hey, we're going to weigh a CRF 150 and a TTR 125 in a second. But so back to
dual sport packing. Right.
So the repacked muffler. Here's the thing about it. Depends on the muffler you're using. If it has some sort of sound suppression device internally in the muffler, whether it's a spark arrestor on the front or the rear, or it's got a resonance chamber inside of it, those things create heat. That's what they do, and so it can be hard on the packing. So you have to have good packing, some good heat resistant packing in there, because there's a lot of crap packing you get for cheap, but a lot of times, and you'll find out with this Tusk stuff whether it's long lasting or not. The first time you've used it, right?
No,
you've been using it.
I keep putting in that bike, but I keep throwing away good packing because
you made it too tight.
Well, I'm like, something's wrong. The last time I did it, way too tight. I mean, I did it as tight as I possibly could because I was just trying.
Yeah, so when you pack the packing too tight, it doesn't allow the sound to get in. So what I was going to suggest is actually on that bike, cut the packing in half, pack it tight in the beginning, and loose at the end.
Oh.
And maybe even encourage some sort of a kind of a gap in the middle, and because the sound waves are bouncing around through there, and if the packing's super tight, they don't really go in.
That was definitely the loudest I had it, was because I packed it. I mean, I rolled it as tight as I could, and then I masking taped like a loop around it to keep it together. I mean, it was tight.
Yeah.
But I was, at that point, I was just looking for anything.
You don't want it too tight. And so how often do you repack the muffler on your dual sport bike? Like I said, it depends on how hot the muffler gets. The hotter muffler gets, the harder you're riding the bike, meaning a high RPM harder ride you're riding the bike.
Tend to do that more anyways if you're trying to pound pavement for a while, like
right?
Say a 450 or a 500 or something.
They can go out, but I probably get 150 to 200 hours on an FMF Q. That's a stock Q. I never run my KTMs with the stock one. The stock KTM mufflers will run a long, long, long time because they have to. It's a requirement. But I never run mine with that perf thing in the end. And so I suspect if I rode my bike like I normally do with that perf thing in the end, it would really burn the packing out. So I might have to do it sooner. But on a lot of my bikes that I have the stock muffler on, that perf thing's out. I've never repacked them. There's 2 or 3 of them sitting over there that have a couple hundred hours on each of them. And I've over the time replaced them with an FMFQ. And
there's definitely
so he has the Pro Moto end cap. That's good. So you've eliminated with the end cap, you've eliminated the major source of heat containment inside that thing. And if it has 175 hours, I would say you're probably good for another 100 in all honesty, if just guessing. But when it depends on how you ride. If you're doing a lot of wide open, hard, high heat stuff, then it's going to be less than if you're trail riding. You could trail ride the thing forever if you never did the freeway stretches.
I'm really bad about early maintenance. Really bad. Like oil changes I do way too frequently type of thing. I mean, at 175 hours, I think the Tusk packing is $10.
Yeah.
And if you're slow an hour in the garage, you get to sit in the garage, drink 10 beers, and pack the silencer.
No.
I mean, 4.
Yeah, 10. Okay, 4. Well, no wonder it's so loud. Now I understand the beer to silencer ratio makes sense. And Gregory says he assumes we are talking about the resonator. So when I'm talking about this, I was being very generic when I was talking about the sound reduction device. So there's a chamber inside of a lot of mufflers where it kind of it pumps in, it has to go through some zigzags and stuff. And that would be what would be called the resonator. Like the FMFQ has some sound baffling stuff inside of there. There's different, but for the most part now, a lot of the mufflers are just, especially the accessory ones, are just straight through and they figure out let me grab some.
Yeah,
watch this.
Yeah.
Here's what we do in this. Here's why you're today in the shop, because I can run right over here and grab a snorkel.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's a piece right there.
So
yeah, they run them straight through and then deal with it on the tail end.
Yeah. So this is a snorkel on a cue, and so it depends on the muffler. Now there's some stuff in the front of the muffler. Before there wasn't, and they just had to put this piece in, which is smaller. It's got a tapered end up here, and then this is a smaller outlet where if you took this out, it's an open muffler.
Yeah, which I love though. One of the coolest things that I've done.
Yeah,
is you get this that you can pull out.
Pull it up so people can see you there. Yeah.
You can pull this out super easy. There's a little ring, like a two-sided ring, snap ring here. You can pull this out and have a big honking hole in it. You can not cut that off because that wouldn't make it a spark arrestor anymore, and put it back in if you want a little bit more back pressure.
Yeah.
Some things that like more back pressure and some things that don't,
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. They give you, there's a lot of option with just that one little piece there.
Yeah. And I have, one of the things I have tested is a lot of different shapes of these and different things in these that do stuff for sound, and largely it's done for sound, but it's also for performance, because I want a certain kind of throttle response, and I don't want it to. And you can make this really small, and the bike still runs okay, but the throttle response goes to crap. I mean, runs okay like the number you're getting on a dyno, but then it also increases heat, and this one increases heat kind of at the tail end. And so if you have one of the FMF mufflers, let me go grab one. Hold on.
Carbon is.
Yeah, so I don't know if I have a carbon in one here. Yeah, I do. That's why. Okay. So when you have here's an FMF. This is a 4.1, but it was built. I have to look in there, see. Okay, it's a 4.1 because sometimes the Q has something different in the front part, but you can see the difference just in the outlet size here. And so I'm showing you the difference between this is a 4.1 that most people would take the insert completely out, but this has a spark arrestor insert dropped in. Right? Yeah, that has the spark arrestor insert in it. And this is the one off the Q, which is smaller. And then there's different levels of sound dampening. But when you put this one in here, and the reason I was able to go grab both of these is I tried this one here. Look at the color around here. Yeah.
It's getting rowdy out there.
Yeah, it's getting rowdy out there. And then look at the color at the end.
Yep.
It's hard to see. It's gotten warm, and it will compromise the carbon. So, but if you have a stainless one at the end, it's not an issue.
Which usually you can do all right on the carbon tips, and then you get them really, really hot and then dump the bike. And then just said carbon is like, it starts getting a little brittle, and that's where you get like where it'll blow the back end of them out.
Yeah, but it's all metal in the inside. The carbon is just a decoration.
Yeah. I know.
So
some people are more worried about the aesthetic of their bike, me, than the performance. Sometimes, not.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
I kind of care about what it feels like when I ride it and how it works, and you're the one that has to look at my bike, so I don't care.
Well, my problem is I used to have a full-time job. Off for a little bit here. But, so I spend a lot more time looking at them than I do riding them, unfortunately.
Right. I have a hard time just keeping them maintained. So, okay. Let's see. I see a pussy by the Yamaha. Victor, you're amazing. Where is it? Yeah. She's gone already. Started. The pussy just leaves the building. Actually,
that was on delay from you grabbing the exhaust.
Oh, well, I mean, she might have been following me around. The cat, all it does is eat rats and things like that. But I teased the show last time. I got a lot of views because I said I was going to show pussy on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, and I did. And evidently, I've done it 2 weeks in a row. So don't get me banned.
Hey, so back to Joshua's.
By the way, this show brought to you by Yamaha. Yamaha, if you need a good dual sport bike, write a letter to Yamaha and tell them you'd like them to make a really good dual sport bike, because I bet you they can make the best one if they had it. So, but if you need a competition bike, like just look who's winning at the Nationals, especially a 250F, just like that one right there. Yeah, pretty darn fast. That's why I'm gonna hook that thing.
This is a good question.
Okay.
Do you have a preference on the packing you use? Because back to my earlier dilemma with the KTM 50, I was at the point before my testing today, I was going to start buying different packing. I was like, I don't know. I'm running out of options here. And I was going to go back to, the old school kind of stringy stuff that you used to kind of have to cram in there, and then it would be tight and loose and tight and loose, and it sucked.
So I have been, because I was able to get some of that really good stringy stuff that had a higher temperature, and I don't remember where I got it from. I think it was from somebody from in the pipe industry. Said, "Hey, try this," and it was really good loose stringy stuff that I had to pack in, and I put it in a muffler, and I haven't taken it out. So, but if you're buying it from a,
and that's a sign of a good package.
There was a company back then, I think it was called like Silent Sport or something, that had some really good high end packing, and it was noticeably different. Like it was a half a decibel back when we were chasing decibels trying to get it. So if you're buying packing from a muffler manufacturer, a reputable source, like I'm sure Rocky Mountain does a good job of sourcing the Tusk packing. It's probably super generic and stuff like that.
It's wildly upsetting that they plaster Tusk on everything.
Yeah.
But it's, I swear, everything I buy that's Tusk,
it's
like
decent.
8 out of 10 times, it's pretty good.
And I got in trouble back when I was a Dirt Rider magazine because I allowed a test of a Tusk lever, like some cheap clutch perch. It was like $7.99. That the kid that did the review on it said it rattled like it was on a Harley. I mean, it was just loose. It's just a fitting one. It did rattle when you revved up the thing. The suture going ding, 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 like this. But you know what? The lever worked for $7.99. Some kid that can't go riding his bike because he only has $11 to his name and he wants to go riding his bike. He can afford this one, where every other one was $45 and the stock one was like $90. And so I don't know. We gave it like I don't even know what the rating was, but it was like 7 out of 10. Yeah. But we said it rattled but the Tusk stuff, in my honest opinion, I always hate to say that because it feels like I'm lying. Because I'm honest. I don't always lie. The Tusk stuff, those guys actually test the stuff. Look on that. Like you see Tusk and Lex and things.
Those right there.
Is that Tusk?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's around here.
And I got the same ones, and I've been using these for.
Yeah, I use the stuff, and it's not to say that is Motion Pro better. Yeah, is Koa even better? How do I know? I have them. I've used them, but when wait, pussy alert.
Yeah, which I mean, given the option, I'd love to have my,
caught one.
Yeah, given the option, I'd love my toolbox at home to be filled with Snap-on tools.
Wouldn't we all?
But
yeah. You don't want to die with a $4,000
exactly. Those things are probably 10, 15 years old.
Yeah, and they're there because I just wanted to have an extra set because I have a good one someplace else, and it's like different things. So if you're looking for a cat, this cat sponsored by Promoto Billet. This Selma is brought to you by Fasst Company. Hold on.
Oh, we should do Fast.
If you have a cat, you need a Fasst Company torque wrench. So, because if you have a cat, there's no reason that your spokes would be properly torqued. You'd be spending all your time petting your cat like I do. So when I do go to pet my cat and then I realize I need to torque my spokes, this just looks like a metal rod right now on the show, but it has all these different things that you just plug that in there, and it's a torque wrench. And if I were to walk over there and I could get a W wheel. Another.
I still stand by. Now I don't know who all is making these. I think actually Tusk makes one of these.
They probably have a knockoff.
Yeah, and they did some version of it. But for the longest time, I want to say Fasst were the only people that had one outside of like the industry.
So Koa, again, this is a specialty tool company out of Japan. They make the Super Sano stuff that's impossible to get here. And you want to put a tip in there, and you might be able to bend it right now.
But just
yeah, and here, hold on. Let me get that click right here on that. That's the sound of a perfectly torqued spoke.
Yeah, and there's a little detent in there, so it gets it straight with the torque. But it's at the end of the
so
day.
You know how you said you want to have a Snap-on toolbox.
Yeah.
So when you want to just you may not have a snap, you might have a little Harbor Freight in your toolbox.
You should have a Snap-on.
But you pull that thing out, and then the people go, "Oh, that guy knows what he's doing." Yeah.
Well, because the thing is that I don't care what the debate is. The most neglected thing on a motorcycle has to be the spokes. It has to be. It's something that.
I mean, I think people take it for granted, but I don't. Well, see, I don't. There's the problem is I don't neglect the spokes. Like I know when I get a new bike that I have a routine for. I usually, if it's a lot of the bikes that I get are prepped magazine bikes. So somebody did what I would do, which is when they got the bike out of the crate, they went and took a spoke wrench, a good torque spoke wrench, and they went and checked it. Most people don't have this. I have a torque wrench in my wrist, even though they don't work very well for all the other things. Though. Yeah, they work. It clicks just like a torque wrench. But when I want to make sure how I calibrate my wrist is with this particular tool.
I still stand by. I would say 9 out of 10 people that own and ride motorcycles on a monthly basis, like a standard person that rides a motorcycle, has never touched their spokes. I bet it's 9 out of 10 has never touched a spoke before. I maybe
okay. I'll go with 9 out of 10, but I want to say 7 out of 10 don't ride their bikes enough to need to like the way it comes from the factory. Just like I mean, how many people check their lug nuts on their car? Ever? And they drive 100,000 miles. I mean, maybe when they get the tires changed, somebody did it, but do they even know? But if you want to treat your bike right, spoke torquing is important. If you want to do it right, absolutely right. Fasst Company. If you want to get a discount on one of these, you do email me. It's my name. It's Jimmy at Dirt Bike Test, which is what we do. Go to Dirt Bike Test, click through the links, and you can get one you probably get one of these at Rocky Mountain. If you want the real one, email me. I'll hook you up with a guy who knows something.
Joshua, your question. So for like FMFs and stuff like that, they actually have on the back side, they'll have like Torx head bolts in them, so you can pull these 4 out, and this whole
it slides out backwards.
The back of it. There are some exhaust pipes that don't, like some OEM manufacturers won't have them. I think these days probably most of them.
We'll find. We'll grab a KTM one. Yeah, KTM one. KTMs are interesting.
There was definitely a time 15 years ago everything needed a rivet.
So the KTM, here's a stock KTM muffler, by the way. So KTM actually has their Torx at the end. You can pull the cap out. These are usually glued in. They're glued in. They're not that easy to get out. You have to do a lot of tapping and stuff like that. The KTM is riveted on the back side, on the other side. So you have to kind of tap this sucker out and get it out. I mean, you can hear this thing. I mean, it doesn't have a this thing has like 400 hours on it. This particular one because
probably weighs 3 times this thing.
Yeah. So
even being
hold on, you want to know what? Hey, let's just do a muffler comparison. I'll just weigh it out here. Hold on, watch this. This is what's so awesome about this show is that I can go like this. Hold on, find this thing here. I go here.
Yes, Joshua, that's a stock KTM. What 2000?
This is a 6 days, a 2020 6 days muffler. And then where's that little? Give me this thing here because it'll follow me. I got a thing here. It'll track me. Here we go. So I have a scale, a certified calibrate. Now that we're up and moving. Oh, amazing! Now that look what just ended up in my hand. Another, whoa, amazing. Let me hit the track button here and see if it follows. It's tracking you. It thinks you're more important than me. There we go. Okay. So anyhow, I'll put the bottle away.
Sit right here.
Okay, so we got to turn the scale on, off. So some of the stuff we do around here is test shit, and everybody wants to know what everything weighs. So here's stock KTM muffler is going to go on it. It's going to be hard to show you because it's tucked up against the thing here. Balance it on this side because it'll actually balance. 5 pounds. The stock KTM is 5 pounds, 14.6 ounces. Okay. I'll take that one off. And now I'll put the FMF. And it's a 4.1. So it's a little bit lighter than a Q. But this one is 4 pounds. So it's a 7.4 ounces. So it's a pound 6 ounces lighter. It's funny. It feels heavier.
Almost.
So the interesting thing about mufflers is sort of where they're at. You know, the muffler is out here and it's swinging. So if you take your muffler and you go like this, okay, what does that feel like? Versus when I grab this guy here and I go like that, there's a little bit of difference. The farther I put it out, the more, difference. So what I'm doing is I'm actually holding the muffler out and swinging it for all you people that are listening to this on a podcast.
But that also works up and down just as well as it does side to side.
Yeah,
that's thrown directly over the tire.
Yeah, and it's pendulum, and that's why, for instance, that KTM, and actually these are from 2 different years, and I'll show you something interesting here. Is when you start talking about like design of bikes and everything, I'm going to hold this up, and you're going to look at the muffler mounts are pretty much the same. There's a little bit different between these 2 years, but if you look at where the muffler attaches, see how much longer. If they were attached, look at how much shorter that becomes if they're hooked up where they're to the header pipe. So here, and that's what they call mass centralization, if you're wondering. So they're always trying to get it closer to the center of the bike. They don't want the heavy stuff sticking out. You can't do much about the wheels because they're in a certain spot, and the muffler is a heavy thing that you can do. Now we got lightning and thunder going on out here. Okay. So hopefully that answered that question there. Let's go to the thing here. Let's see. So you probably have carpal tunnel in your wrist. No, I destroyed my wrist. Oh, we got to work on that thing too. Got to work on some stuff. No, I destroyed my wrist racing motorcycles, maybe Dakar. Specifically destroyed my wrist. Both of them. Let's see, stock. So one of those was stock. One of them was off at 2019 or 2018. The other one was 2020. I'm guessing they're just stuff I had laying in a pile over there.
No, you will not need a rivet tool.
No, yeah, not on a stock one for sure. Actually, that one, both ends come apart on the KTM muffler. The stock KTM muffler, it's not riveted on either end. And I would usually take, like you said, like the FMF one, I would pull the not the end, I would pull the initial part out. So, okay. So that's the answer to the question. The next thing we need to do is talk about like amazingly awesome, super high horsepower beginner bikes. Mm-hmm. I have a Honda XR150 that I need to give back. And one of the things we always do with our test bikes here is weigh them. So we're going to, since we weigh stuff like the mufflers, we're going to weigh the XR150, find out what it weighs. So we're going to do a contest right now. If you can guess the weight, the weight of a stock 2024 black XR150 with a nearly, like it was filled up about 20 miles ago, which means it might be down like a quarter of a gallon. Ooh. Yeah. If you can guess the weight, stock tires, stock everything. If you can guess the weight exactly, I'll send you a Fuck You t-shirt. I have one. Jerry left it here, but it has to be a size large. So we're going to do that. And John and I were going to have this discussion. I'm going to roll it back in. Tell them what we were going to talk about. Can you remember?
Comparing the weights?
The weights, yeah.
Yeah. So talked about it a little bit earlier. So the 150s, I would say quite a bit taller, but in comparison, it's quite a bit taller than PPR. And when you pull each bike off the side stand and kind of give that generic feel of, hey, what does this thing do? It feels like the Honda's a ton heavier, but as I was discussing with Jimmy earlier today, I kind of think that might just be because the weight is a little higher up. It's more of it is a dual sport. It comes ready to ride on the street, so it has to have a metal tank. The tank's a little higher up on the bike. So, in our guesses, I think that they're within 15. What did I say? 15 pounds of each other.
Did you say 15?
I think you said 25. That was less than you.
I said. Yeah, you said 15, and I said, maybe I said 25.
Yeah, so I think they're going to be about 15 pounds from each other. Jimmy thinks about 25. I think he's wrong. So, but we got some. Oh,
Our guest is coming in.
I don't know about those
So
guests.
what a smart internet user would have already done is done a Google search.
Well, they're all pretty close to each other.
And yeah, so they went to the Google search. And so here's where we're going to find out what the manufacturer weight is versus what the real weight is. And so I've got to, I got to.
Total guess from comments. I bet it's 240.
Oh, that's what the, because what did we say? We said 180.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't really have a guess.
No, wait, no, wait, two, no, wait, say two. No, what did we say in the beginning? When we just kind of threw it out there.
I would say 240.
Okay. I need a pen over here. Let me grab a pen off that thing up there on a Sharpie because I got to do math because it weighs the front and
174 sure would be a cool number. That would be a rad bike at 174.
Yeah. I don't know that it's, I mean, like the under 200-pound dirt bike is kind of interesting.
Usually they don't have extra strokes.
Let's see. I need to find something to be able to write on here.
Because there's still, I think, a modern KTM 125 is under 200, right? Empty.
No, not that. We built, like back at Dirt Rider, we built a 199-pound 300. FMF actually did it. Donnie Emler at FMF just as a challenge kind of did it. So, okay, I got my sheet out here. Let me weigh it here.
It's not a small motorcycle. It really is when you kind of get to touching on it.
I'm actually really surprised by the weight bias. That's something that kind of is striking me right now.
I wish I would have got to ride it a little bit more today, but
you can come by and grab it tomorrow. They're taking this thing back real soon. Okay.
We got 298.4.
That's what the guesses are coming in.
292, 300 pounds.
I'm doing the math right now.
276.
Holy crap.
There's no way that's a 300-pound motorcycle, right? Steel wheels, steel spokes, steel everything, steel swing arm.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised by what.
It's an air-cooled Honda, so it probably holds 4 gallons of oil.
Let's see, everything's zeroed back out. They're still accurate. I'm calibrating it by myself. So, oh yeah, I'm almost Clydesdale. Close to Clydesdale. So I said 25 pounds, right?
I said 25 pounds. I'm thinking you're right.
I said 25 pounds. I was kind of surprised by that. It was a little bit more than what I thought. But this is a Yamaha. By the way, Yamaha, sponsor of this show. You want one of the best play bikes known to man because it has electric start and a Kickstarter and high revving 125cc 4-stroke engine. This is a fun motorcycle.
That is the undefeated. Funnest is a word.
Funnest? Yeah.
Is funnest the word?
Undefeated on the flat track.
That is the most fun you will have on a small motorcycle.
Oh boy!
Since the XR100.
I'm just gonna say, were you ever wrong? But let me just.
Oh, I'm way off, huh? Is it closer to 50? No way! Come on.
Okay, let me take it off one minute. Just check everything out. We're all back at 0. Okay.
Oh shit!
You can see, right? You can see those numbers.
See the first one,
oh, what? Yeah, let me see. Yeah, let's see here. I just got to write this stuff down real quick. Okay. Here we go.
Is that a stock exhaust on it?
Yeah.
Got a tip on it?
No, they come with the new 91 front. And let's see what the rear. Come on, settle down. Here we go. Balance her out.
Boys, I am well wrong.
I was really wrong too.
That's a 125, right?
Yeah, TTR 125. TTR 125L big wheel.
What is the bigger one? The
230. 230. Yeah, it's still 230 because I got one of those over in the other. Here and there.
So it would be comparison twice the. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230. 230.
Okay, gonna run the numbers here. No. What is? Look at the. What's the math on that? What? 25 pounds? What? No.
80.
Yeah. Okay. Did anybody get the number right? Like, let's scroll back through let's see.
What do we get?
Okay, so you got a couple more minutes to try to figure out the weight challenge
I think
here.
someone did guess that.
Did somebody the Honda weight? Did somebody guess the Honda weight?
Oh,
so
close.
Yeah, if we round that one out, it doesn't work. No. Wait, what bikes are we talking about? Ron, we're talking about a Honda XR150 is the weight you're trying to guess. You're trying to guess the full tank weight on an XR150. Let's see. That's not a small motorcycle. No one's got it yet. Okay, so you can keep guessing. But we got a good question here. What does Joshua want to know?
Oh, you want to read that?
Yeah.
Okay. He says, I have Seat Concepts XLT and love it. Want a standard comfort, but can't afford a complete seat right now. Have the stock seat. Does Seat Concepts sell conversion seat set, aka the foam and cover?
Josh, what bike are you talking about? You have a Seat Concepts XLT.
He's talking about the seat. So he's got the XLT version of the seat, but he wants a standard comfort.
Is XLT like
I think the XLT is like the double wide for the
super comfy one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar. It's kind of funny because
I do believe they sell foam and covers.
Right.
I think they sell them right off their website. You can go in there and
yeah, you don't have to get the complete seat. You can buy the foam and the cover for it. And if you go to those XLs or even the ones that are comfort seats, let's see. You know, I know where I can get one of those. Hold on. My pussy's licking itself right now. Yeah, it just so happens that I have what you're talking about right here.
That's a new one too.
Well, it's relatively new. So I'm going to click the clicker and go to this wide shop here. Actually, I'm going to try the other camera. Let me see if this camera works over here. Try another camera here. So here we go. Okay. So welcome to here we go. So you wanted to see a Seat Concepts and I'll hold it up here so you can kind of see what it is. This is the comfort seat. And I don't know if this is XLT because it's narrow here.
I think the XLTs are pretty wide.
They get really wide back here. They're kind of fatter. But the reason I used to think this was so, do I want to use the word dual sport? No, dual sport. But if you start looking at like factory rally bikes now, what these guys are running, there's something called gull wings, and they're actually not up at the top part of the seat, but they're kind of down here on the lower where it kind of catches you. So this is good for sitting your kind of fat ass down. And then it's here, so it's a little bit narrow, if you want to get your thing down. But this is their cover. This is because they don't make a complete seat for a Husaberg, so this is put on top of a stock seat pan. Here, let me pull it. There we go. I don't want to do this because they're wonderful to take off. But so this is the stock Husaberg seat that I just popped off. Notice that no tools. Husaberg was possibly the best bike manufacturer known to man, besides Yamaha. And so anyhow, that's your seat. It kind of depends on how aggressive you're getting with your riding. This really helps. And I didn't like this before, but for off-road riding, anything but extreme enduro, I'll go with this kind of seat. When you kind of see this shape, this doesn't bother you when you're riding, but it catches you when you really accelerate hard. And if anybody's ridden a Husaberg 570, I hate to bring this up on this show. This motor makes a lot of power. I mean, we're talking like lots and lots of power on that particular bike, everybody. Just so you know. So hopefully that answers your question, whoever that was. We're going people are still trying to get the numbers down. Has anybody?
Jamie, I always like my controversial questions.
Okay, controversial questions.
So you like
special segment of the show, but we should probably have some. Hold on, what kind of tequila should we have right now? Now that we got this camera out and it's working, this camera broke on the last show, so I'm kind of happy that it's back. Our next bottle of tequila. There we go. Then we'll try this one. We're not killing. This still has a lot left in it. So okay, back to the questions.
Oh, anyways, so my question here. So you like the seat concepts because the same reason that a lot of people like it, right? So you get the cushion, you get the narrow up front when you stand up, but you also get a little bit of that like calf grab, knee grab. Like I'm taller, so my calves kind of run right about there.
Yes.
Well, do you like steg pegs?
No. No.
Didn't figure.
Because it's funny because the seat, since it's soft, it's adjustable. Because I can be loose with my legs and then I can clamp on at a bunch of different positions. Where the steg pegs, for me, especially when I'm going down a steep downhill, I can no longer grab them. They don't work.
Yeah,
and people are like, well, why are you falling off the back? I'm not falling off my motorcycle. When I grab my motorcycle, I'm trying to hang on to it. And when I grab onto something, and especially on downhills, I'm kind of going over the bars sort of thing, or I don't want to fall forward. So the seat with it being wide back there, but most of the time it's for acceleration. It's when I accelerate and I just never know exactly where I'm going to be. And the seat's always there, where the steg pegs are in only one position. And if I'm not in the right position and I expect something to catch me, it's kind of weird.
That's kind of what I figured was going to go on there. Because the steg pegs, if you put the bike on the stand and stand up on the bike and grab a hold of it and go, I'm accelerating hard, they feel awesome. You're like, oh man, if I'm in this one out of the 500 positions I'm going to be in today,
right,
I feel awesome.
The 1 out of 500 positions, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we have if anybody's got was Ron close?
Ron was close.
Yeah. No. Only one guess, by the way. Jake's there. Oh, you know what? Jake reminded me. We've got to do Roosterendo.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's favorite segment.
I was gonna send you one. That's why I asked you today.
Oh yeah, well you didn't, and you lose because of that.
Yeah.
So why don't you do your job? Pour that thing. By the way, the show brought to you by fine companies like Bulletproof Designs, Yamaha, Dirt Bike Test. This is the company that brings you all this stuff. There is Fasst Company. What else helps us out here? Scott's Performance helps us every once in a while. Climb. Couldn't do this without Climb. I'm not wearing any Climb gear right now, which is really strange in my world. Yeah, and
I still need to ask you for codes.
Yeah, I got a code for you. Yeah, if you want a little discount, just email me. We have a lot of discounts around here. Is BJ sporting a mullet?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
there's a mullet there.
There's a nasty one back there.
Yeah, it's not as good as Ricky's. Hardly even noticed it. I've never seen you taste Herendurus Selection Supreme. I have that, Victor. I do have that in my cabinet over there. Let's see. Our Ranger saddlebags act like steg pegs, and that caused me to endo going down this nasty downhill since I couldn't get back. I hate those things. The saddlebags or steg pegs?
I don't mind the Wolfman engineering ones, the kind of low pro. I'm sure there's 10 pairs around here somewhere, but I don't mind those too much. But if I'm riding a bike like that, I'm not.
I'm looking for a bike that has some of the stuff.
But it's kind of like the dual sport, adventure bike.
So I go between the Wolfman ones and the Giant Loop ones, and they're a little bit different in positioning. The good thing with the Wolfman ones, they're more adjustable. You can actually position the bags where you need. And by the way, if you have some questions about I'm a big rider and I want to know how to set up my bike as a big guy, ask John. He's gone through all the stuff, and he's one of the best people to explain it. Like, he doesn't just go down, I need bar risers and I need low foot pegs and I need tall seat, all this stuff. But
I did tell you I wanted to try out some low foot pegs. First time in my life I was going to try them.
Hey, I'm the perfect size, and on certain bikes I go to low foot pegs because it enhances the handling character. So, but if you just go to a low foot peg, you could completely screw up a certain motorcycle. So I mean,
you also miss what you're looking for by not trying what you have.
Right? Yeah, different things. Okay. You're changing the rules or just clarifying? Yeah, how many guesses have you already had? Because I didn't associate names with numbers. I was looking for the correct number. You know how contests work at this show. Oh, by the way, this is not a real contest. It's like a drawing, and we're not. I may not actually send out what I'm claiming I'm going to send out because I might have been a couple tequilas the win when I started. But if you're, I'm usually pretty good about it. Hey, how come nobody's sending me pictures of the T-shirts? Remember, I sent out all those Tech Talk Taco Tuesday T-shirts. Did you ever get one? No. That's what
my wife wears a dirt bike test T-shirt about once a week.
Yeah, every guest host on the show gets a Tech Talk Taco Tuesday T-shirt. So I should get you.
I've never gotten one. My 8-year-old son is watching with me for the first time. He is. I don't know what that word is, but he's
enamored that this is live. Well, he probably goes live 3 or 4 times a week. That's just his normal routine. What's your 8-year-old show? What does he do? He comments on like video games. Because he probably makes more money than me. Okay, and our show, is it shutting down or it's still working? Okay, good. So we've weighed the bikes. Everybody's still guessing on this stuff. Ashley, is that your first guess or is that your 10th guess? I don't know. How's this?
That's good. That's good.
Thank you, Jimmy Tyler.
Yeah, go Jimmy.
I don't like as much the other one.
Yeah, it's a little sweet for me.
Okay. Yeah, this one.
Like I said, I'm not normally. I'm not normally a Neho guy.
Yeah, it's a little
like extras.
Actually, this doesn't even. It tastes more like a Reposado.
Yeah,
it's a little lighter than a true Neho, and it's very sharp. Like the initial.
Which I don't mind the sharpness. It for whatever reason, sweetness. I'm not too sweety.
Yeah, it's sharp and sweet, and then it kind of where it should have. I think it should start. If it's sharp, it should build a little bit, but not get raspy, and then not get bad. This one kind of goes, and it fell off immediately. Yeah, which that's like a filter. Like a lot of the Cristianos or stuff like that do that. They have the sharp tequila taste, and then they fall off. So,
George, when I go from sitting to standing, my butt never comes off the seat. It's
yeah, get longer legs, George. It's really easy. You go down to Mexico. You go to Mexico, and there's a Clinico, and you can add some legs.
Yeah, you know where they add that to?
They get some femurs off of cows, and they just cut them in and set them in.
Yeah, they add it to your femur.
Yeah,
10 out of 10 would not suggest that.
Why didn't you get shortened?
Wouldn't have been a bad idea, but
yeah, they would have had to go on the other side. Wasn't the right time. Show's getting glitchy on your end. Well, according to my thing right now, we're streaming just fine. There is lightning outside, but that just became a problem. Like this is the problem with this show is I want this camera to work. I need to buy another camera. So donate to us on YouTube's or FaceTimes or whatever it is. Support us on the platforms. And when you buy stuff through our links or when you're buying something we talk about in the show, let the company know that we sent you there, because otherwise this is my penance for all the
cool stuff you've done,
all the dirt bike sins that I've had. I'm doing penance by doing the show for 2 hours. I only have another 20 minutes to go. Yeah. It's 2 hours every Tuesday night.
This is unrelated to you, I believe, but I think it was Joseph. Here, scroll up a little bit. Give me
okay,
Give me a slight scroll. Joshua, I'm 6'5", 300 pounds. Any tips?
6'5", so he's a little bit taller than you, taller than you, and 300. What do you, John? Go step on that thing right there.
Anyways, John, just a little heavy.
John, go step on that thing right there. I just want to.
I'll do it. Just go.
I'm going to evaluate here.
Mind you, I haven't done anything in 2 months. So.
Watch how agile this guy is when he goes over to the camera. I'll see if the other camera will catch the wide shot. Will catch him over there. There he goes. He's stepping on this. Don't break it. Okay. Cat's impressed.
262. That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a little bit less than an XR 150. So you're a little bigger than Big John. Any tips?
Yeah.
So that's the question.
Yeah.
What's the tips?
I think the tips are always so hard for big guys, but for the longest time, I always worked with people and told them to, like we said, deal with your bike first, and then figure out what your weak points are. But now as I'm kind of getting a little older, riding less, I'm not riding all the time. Older, so I'm not, not in the best shape anymore. A little bar riser. Start small. Starts very small, especially with KTMs. Coolest thing about KTMs, which I swear I'm not a KTM guy, but one of the coolest things about them is they sell OEM bar risers in like 5mm increments,
right?
For like $30.
Yeah, they're just little plates and the bolts that go with them.
They sell that, but then they also, if you have the style that kind of U-bolts over the top of the clamp, not U-bolts, kind of like it kind of channels over the top of the clamp,
right?
You get both the bottom stems. It doesn't come with the top clamps, but you get both of the bottom clamps, and they sell them in 5mm.
Oh, right. There's 3 different sizes in the kit.
It's like $30.
Yeah, you can go to Rocky Mountain. Rocky Mountain has these bar risers.
The coolest way to do it.
I'm really surprised you're talking about bar risers, because you know that the number one thing that we see, 4-inch bar risers.
Or 4-inch bar risers.
Yeah. No, we see everybody just go crazy on bar risers when they go overboard, and it puts them, because the bars come up, they start going back.
You know what it is? This brings us right back to the steg peg segment.
Yeah.
They're really, really, if you put them on a stand, put your bike on a stand with 4-inch risers and stand on it, you go,
oh, this is great.
These work awesome for the one position that I'm in until you need to do anything on the motorcycle.
And when the bars come up and you go back, then all of a sudden you start falling off the back of the motorcycle, start hanging on more. You don't realize how easy it is to bend at your hips. Wait a minute, let me say this again. Oh, by the way, I'm a professional riding coach. I'm certified. I have some credentials. Let me say that again. Bend at the hips, because everybody bends at the knees to reach their bars. You don't bend at the knees. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, your knees can't be over your foot pegs. Sure they can in the right times, but all this stuff is done in stationary. Don't get me started.
It's a ton. But at the end of the day, you cannot stand straight up on a motorcycle and have your hands on the handlebars.
No, you have to bend. But you think about it, most of the time in the motorcycle, you're accelerating, and when you're decelerating, it's easy to fall. Something. It's easy to fall backwards on the bike and then balance yourself out. And I have when my online riding school comes up, well, AI is going to replace me pretty soon, anyways. After it comes and kills me.
So you cannot stand straight.
There's nothing wrong with bar risers in the right thing. Just like fentanyl and PCP and beer and tequila. In the right amount, it's probably okay. Some of it's really bad, but if you know how to use it, it's probably okay. And now we're just banned from YouTube forever.
Yeah. But like, if I was to set up, if I rode every day, I'd ride a stock bike. If I had the rider fitness of a guy who rode 5 times a week, like I was when I was younger,
right?
I rode stock bikes, stock pegs, stock seats, stock handlebars, stock risers.
Because compromising your body position, using the muscles to put you in that position didn't hurt.
But I had a good core and stuff like that. I was good, all that stuff. But then, like, as I stopped riding, the bars came up a little bit, not a lot.
Right.
And, a slightly taller seat, maybe a little more comfortable, less bend in the knees. There's things you compromise with a little bit.
We have a really good,
as you get older and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
we have a really good question in the comments right now, but that's okay. Not before we say, feel free to enjoy our sponsors, Yamaha and Climb. So, Jimmy, what are your thoughts on the Athena Big Bore kit for the WR? I don't have any thoughts on that right now because I haven't tried one, although that is so on my list for my Yamaha WR250.
What?
So, that's what I need to. But I would just go out and spend the money right now. But I know there's a few people that know way more about it than I do that have tested it and stuff. I want to call them and ask them about that kit and how they used it and how it affected some other stuff, because the interesting thing is, back in the old days, big bore kits were everywhere in the carbureted, especially carbureted 4-strokes, even 2-strokes. There was advantages, but a lot of disadvantages. And when it went to fuel injection, I was blown away by how the advantages so outweighed the disadvantages. And then, but it's like you're tinkering with durability, you're tinkering with a lot of different stuff. But there would be nothing I would like more than to get 320-ish. I mean, I want to say 350s.
Aren't those what the Euro guys are running right now? Just like 300cc 4-stroke Yamahas? The Spanish GP, stuff like that? The Enduro GPs.
I don't know.
I think
no, because the class is lightweight 4-stroke needs to be a 250.
I don't know if I think like their premier guy is running.
Like he's running a big bore.
It's like a 300-ish.
I don't spend enough times on the YouTubes to figure this out.
Honda,
the Red Moto. Red Moto. Yeah.
300 Rs.
Yeah. They make like Red Moto. It makes a 300 kit, a 300R kit. You know, I don't know whether it's a 280, but I would like to have thoughts on that kit for the WR and the YZ and the FX because it's all the same. It'd be the same stuff.
That's the 450, right?
So what? No, that's 250.
250.
Yeah, it's 250 behind the Husaberg, shadowed by the Husaberg. So that's something I want to do. But before I do that, I'm going to get it working as good as I can as a 250. I'm going to. I got a pipe coming from FMF. It's a little bit different. Something that we've tested before. I asked them to build this kind of strange combination of inserts and stuff. So it keeps the sound down, but it adds some rideability because you can put a beluga muffler on that thing. Like right now, it has the FX muffler. The WR, my WR has the competition ECU and has the FX muffler, and it's the power is too quick, too short, doesn't pull long enough on top.
I thought the stock Yamaha
and so
the creme de la creme. Isn't that what everyone says?
The stock,
the internet.
Oh, I don't know about the internet.
Oh.
I don't read it.
Oh.
So I have an FMF-Q, and it helps it a lot. But I've written another version of a Q that does something different. And so I want to try that. And then I can build some maps because it's amazing what you can do. By the way, Yamaha, sponsor of the show. If you buy a Yamaha, you can go on your phone. And even if you don't have a Yamaha right now, you have a phone, you can get this app. It's the Yamaha Power Tuner app, by the way. And I have it right here on my phone. I don't know what my Apple phone just did, but I'll find it's right here. Yamaha, look at that. Yamaha map tuner. It's going to click over as soon as it loads up there. And those are all of my bitchin' maps for my Yamaha WR. If I push the starter button, I could talk to my Yamaha WR. If you don't have a Yamaha WR or a YZ FX or a YZ, you can pretend with the Yamaha Power Tuner app. Best thing going. Free with your Yamaha. And free even if you don't have a Yamaha.
Just the perfect amount of technology to get it so ass backwards and upside down.
No, you can't. The good thing about this is they limit it, so you can't jack it up. Okay. But so I'm going to play with this new muffler I have because it's got really, out of all the 250s, it has by far and away the best bottom end and mid range for sure. And so what the thing just made a noise. It's red. Oh, we're in deep shit.
I imagine that.
Okay, we reconnected, although we were in deep shit.
Oh. I imagine that thing makes a ton more power than the other 250s. Right?
So anyway, so the idea is I'm gonna take that app and play with it and get it right before I do one modification at a time, one thing at a time, kind of just stepping stones. And I am going to go to a 300 kit on it or whatever, 280, whatever they have. I'm going to try that at some point, but I'm going to talk to some people who have done it because they are smart. The people I know that I'll talk to, and they'll prevent me from going down rabbit holes, or they just guide me in the right direction. And then it's even better. And when I know, I'll let you know. I'll do a thing on it. Mr. Smithers says,
"Got here. Stock is best. 450 big bore kit is a mistake unless you know how to jet the carb very well. Cranking it over is harder on the battery and starter as well."
Okay, so 450 big bore kit. I'm not sure what we're talking about. And this bike does not have a carb. It has the fuel injection. In my Yamaha app, I can jet it right here, and I know what I'm doing. By the way,
boy, howdy is a lot. I did drop the needle on that 50.
Oh, who told you to do that? Yeah, some guy.
The plug was perfect, man. It was everything felt good.
Okay, all you guys that read spark plugs. To all you guys that read spark plugs, there's a freaking method to it that you don't have the time or the money to do.
Yeah.
Like there's a spark plug reading method, and I could explain it because I was taught by some really smart people.
I'm just saying it wasn't as fat as it sounded.
You don't need those kind of people anymore because you don't need to. I mean, they're almost dead anyways. They're old, really old. Spark plug reading is an art and whatever. Okay, so we weighed those bikes. Nobody guessed the weight, by the way. You guys all lost. I didn't see. No, that's not it. I'm going back looking at the thing. Asher Lido is the closest.
Oh,
so
no,
we're close.
There was one that was 2 pounds off.
Well, Asher Lido's one. That's one, right?
Never.
Okay, let's see if he guessed earlier. Let's see if he guessed earlier. Ron guessed a lot of times, so he's getting banned. You weren't close. You were closer on your first one. So we're going to go ahead and let those things out. Asher Leader, you win.
The first guess was.
And wait, did he do
his first?
Oh, wait, no, his second. 2 seconds. Yeah, that was the closest known to man. Right. No, he's off by a little bit. But he did. That was his second guess. So should we disqualify him?
Where's the first guess?
That was his first guess. Was the one with the 0.4 on it,
and that's still the closest.
No, his closest one was his last.
Well,
guess.
Yeah, but his first guess was still the closest of first guesses.
Okay, Ashley, come to the truth here. Did you cheat and look at something because you're really close? Okay, the Honda Sierra, the Honda XR150. Still hard for me to say.
That is crazy.
279 pounds.
That is crazy.
Wet. We'll call it wet. 279. I thought for sure that the Yamaha TTR was going to be 25 pounds less, and John claimed 15.
I figured it would be kind of close. I mean, I guess I should know better.
The interesting thing about that is that he actually explained it pretty well. He said, the Honda's a little bit taller and the swing weight from the kickstand picking it up because we're just doing it based on moving around. Yeah. I guess 25 pounds. I was grossly negligent on that because Yamaha obviously makes the lightest, most agile, best play bikes known to man.
280 pounds. Heavy.
Yamaha, 196 pounds for a TTR 125. Okay, so for all you haters out there, here's all you haters out there. They're going, oh, yeah, the Yamaha's got to be better. I had probably 4 or 5 beginner riders test these bikes because this is what we do at Dirt Bike Test. So I had some brand new first time on dirt bikes. I had people that hadn't ridden for 20 years hop on it. Almost every person that hopped on those bikes when they were super, super novice preferred the Honda. And you want to know why? 2 things. Number 1, it was more stable. More stable. That weight, that heavier weight, made the bike stick to the ground. It didn't react as quickly. It wasn't as nimble. All the things that we like, nimble. It wasn't as nimble
because they're not expecting.
They don't because they're out of balance and all this stuff. So, anyways, that extra weight. But a couple of people that dropped it also said, "Boy, it's really heavy to pick up. I hope I have some." Because you're almost picking up a full size dirt bike at that point at 279. At 196, you're picking up something that's really light.
But it's also lower to the ground, so it pops up a little quicker.
Other things for beginner riders, by the way. That Honda has a lot more chug, torque. Super low RPM. The clutch engagement is a lot smoother. So the things that a beginner rider appreciates, believe it or not,
broad too. It's a little bit that I wrote it.
Honda's done a really good job of making the clutch interaction, the brake interaction. It's not as grabby. The Yamaha, snappier clutch, more aggressive brakes. All the stuff that a better rider would appreciate is on the Yamaha. But as your first bike,
does that Honda have drum brakes on the rear as well?
Yeah, it's a drum brake in the rear. Yeah, they're kind of the same bike, except the Honda's street legal and the Yamaha's not. Anyways,
it's funny we were talking about like the handling characteristics, the novice side of it versus you want to be aggressive with it. That was a big thing. You know me and I love my KLRs, right? One of the big things that KLR guys love to do is they put a fork brace on these things because the front tire will flex the forks so bad. I mean, in the wind, it'll turn the tire in the forks.
Yes.
It's creepy how bad they flex. These are the older ones. I don't know if they've gotten any better, but
they have not. They did improve that, but not much.
And it's funny. Everyone would go to this fork brace and they would swear that it was better, but they could never figure out why it was better. But then a lot of people would do it and be like, "Oh, this thing's terrible. I don't know. Like this thing sucks." And it's the typical. The internet told me to do it, so I did it anyways. But a KLR is a great example of the same thing.
It's good. It's good that they had. As a rider, it's good that they had a field identified it where it's better and worse. The people that actually felt it and said this is not better. Because for me, it was better. like night and day better. The brace, night and day better, because all of a sudden that we call it wallowy. That's the when you're feeling that feeling. Oh, 0 kilobits. Let's see. We're only using 11% of this computer's power. If we just died and went off the internets again, we're gonna have to think. Ashley didn't use Google. Well, yes, you did. You just didn't know you used Google. It did it for you.
But it's funny. There were some things I liked more about the brace, but then there was also things I liked about the walleriness of it because you could, kind of ride it one hand and hit a rock and nothing happened.
Right. So there's this is why everybody, just go with your feel, on a lot of things. And if you don't feel like your feel is right, then maybe, if you're not sure about your feel, like if you change something and see if your feel gets better or worse. And that's the answer. And it doesn't matter what the internet tells you. It's whether it's better or worse. Cause I can, this is what we do here. We're just trying to be blatantly honest. I work with a lot of different levels of riders when I was coaching and riding schools, and I ride a lot of different bikes, whether it's, motocross bikes or XR 150s. And I need to get that video done. And everybody wants to know what I think about the XR 150. I think it's a great bike. I'm glad that it's an XR. God, I thought we'd lost XR because I have an XR history. I have an XR 100 that finished second in the 250 class in the Baja 500. No, it's up there on it's in a rafter over there. Oh, there's another. There's an XR 600. Looks like the one I won the Baja 1000 on. Yeah, I don't like to talk about myself much in the show, but
never won any Baja 500. But I have a handful of XRs, and I love every one of them.
Right. So,
but I swear, and that's what I was saying earlier, is the TTR, hands down, like the large wheel, electric start, 200 pounds. That is the coolest bike that has come out since the XR 100.
TTR 125.
In the realm of
so I was XR 100 guy. I mean, I cut my teeth on backyard supercross racing, and I mean, that was my first real motorcycle that didn't have a step-through frame was XR80. I'm an XR 100 guy, and for me, and I'm not saying this because Yamaha is a sponsor of the show, like TTR 125, I have one that's so enduroed out. It's got the BBR skid plate, frame cradle on it so that I can't stretch it. I've got a Works Performance built me this custom little shock because really on that bike, I'm pretty much on the shock the whole time. The forks don't matter too much. But I got one fork spring from BBR, not two because it's too stiff. One fork spring up in front. And this thing is so got a light, because it's electric start. I got a lighting coil. I got a good headlight on that thing, hand guards, all the stuff. I need a tall seat. I know
my 185 is the same way. It's got one spring in it.
Yeah. So, it's such a fun bike for me. And I put kids on it. And then like back then we did it. My bike is in Mini Rider magazine back, when I was the editor of Dirt Rider before I got canned. We had a magazine called Mini Rider, and we actually tested the Enduro TTR 125. And I still have the bike. I bought it. It was so cool.
Oh, I know that. But it's the one that's got the like anodized frame cradle on it, right?
Yeah. So, but anyways, the CRF, because the CRF 125, which is now fuel injected,
it's heavy.
It's heavy too. Well, why do you think that now after we talked about this, why do you think they let it go heavy? Because it costs more to make a lighter bike, but the person that's riding that bike probably doesn't care. Like I didn't care when I had an XR80 that I would tear the foot pegs out of the bottom of the cases because there wasn't a company like BBR to build me a frame cradle I could put foot pegs on. But anyways, so much about the history. Ashley did guess multiple times, but you still win. Send me an email, buddy. I'm going to send you a t-shirt. Hopefully you're a large because I think that's the one that Jerry brought me. By the way, Jerry Bernardo, our second best co-host. John, this is Big John Perkins here. So if you had big guy questions, you forgot to ask him, that's bad on you. If you wanted to come to my riding school, I don't do it anymore. That's bad on you. And if you wanted to have more Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, I'm going to have one more shot of this stuff right here. And then it's bad on you. So you better jump on the thing because the thing's going yellow. Why is it's going yellow to red? Hey, the good thing is that we always put these up on our YouTube page. It may take a couple of weeks because it's a lot of work to edit and get them up there. If you like
that guy,
he didn't like motorcycles that much. I need to find if you want to be a producer on this show or come out here and fix dirt bikes. I got a lot of bikes. You want to work on Husabergs? you'll probably want to commit suicide, but you will have touched one of the most powerful motorcycles. What do I do that I won? You couldn't type fast enough. A T-shirt, a fuck you T-shirt. Email me.
Oh, what do I do now that I won?
Oh, we got to do Roosterendo.
Yeah.
Shit, quickly. I'm ready to do Roosterendo. Hold on. Roosterendo, brought to you by Takamoto. Yeah, I got it here. It's all going to come up on the screen. So if you want to know about Roosterendo, it's brought to you by Takamoto. They give the winner of Roosterendo, which we decide with help from our audience, we decide the winner. It's the bike that gives us the most satisfaction. We have 2 entries this weekend. So it's a 50% chance that you're going to win if you're on Roosterendo. So you send it in.
Lucky I didn't get mine.
Send in a picture. Listen to us comment. Watch some old episodes if you want to know how we judge this stuff, and maybe could help you win. But here's what we're going to do. I've got to call up this. Oh, really? My Gmail unverified me? Wait 1 second.
Expecting good things here, Jamie.
It's going to be really good because I had them there. It's going to come back to life. Okay, good. They came back to life. It's working. The little thing is spinning, by the way. That's why I'm going to have another sip of this Carmisi tequila. Okay. So this is an interesting one. This is an interesting one. It's going to come up on the screen. So you are now looking at Wyatt. Wyatt.
11 years old.
Yeah, Wyatt. I need to open up another browser here. So 11-year-old kid on his YZ85. He says he has stock handguards. Let me close it down. I'll read it for you here real quick. My name is Wyatt. It's Wyatt Christie, and I'm 11 years old. This is my 2025 YZ85. It's all stock besides the handguards and a skid plate. I like to ride in the mountains and in the desert. Okay, so this is Wyatt.
Talk him up for
do you see the skid plate? He said skid plate. He said handguards. He's not
handguards and skid plate. I mean,
I'm always curious about the guys that are lying about their bike. Sometimes I want to check. Come on, John. You know me. Okay, so it's better than a shot in front of the garage.
As a guy who has 2 mini kids right now,
the spelling was pretty good on that. Do you think he knows how to use spell checker, or did Dad write it?
I don't know.
Okay.
11, I'd say it's
I don't know how kids write these days, but Wyatt looks like he's riding in the desert here, and I see the mountains up behind him. It's good. I want to go riding right now with Wyatt. I want to go rip around.
For sure.
Actually, I want to put Wyatt on my Husaberg 570, and I want to take his YZ85 because I like riding Yamahas. I would hold that thing wide open.
Does that thing got big wheels on it?
No, it's standard. It looks like standard wheels. But Wyatt, we like your bike.
Love it.
Absolutely. We're a little suspicious because Wyatt's dad won 2 weeks ago.
With a Yamaha?
Well, no, I don't remember what he won with, but Taco Mike's been a little busy, so he actually hasn't got to his $100 gift certificate yet. This is brought to you by Taco Moto, by the way. Important. So we're going to go to our next.
There's just
okay.
I don't know what it is about that. The 85 and the 65 when they came out with that bike.
They look good, don't they?
Oh my goodness! It's like the scaling of the shrouds.
Yeah,
looks so much better than it does on the big bikes.
Are you just saying that because
I do have too many kids and I will be buying them?
Okay, so hold on a second. This is a question just came in. Hi, Jimmy. My girlfriend showed me your brand and I wanted to reach out. I hope this is the right address. Okay, it's the right address. The reason I'm asking is our AI ad creative system will add $300,000 a month in the next 4 months or you don't pay.
Here we go again.
If we don't hit additional $300K a month, you will not be charged. If you want explainer, sipper, respond creative, I'll send it over right now. So best, Claren, nice. Where Claren?
If you start accepting
his girlfriend, so his girlfriend, my girlfriend, show me your brand. Where are her naked pictures?
She sounds cool.
Yeah, I want to see Claren. Hold on, let me respond to this right now. Reply, please. PLEAS. Please send nudes. Okay, send. Be cautious with sensitive information. You think they're going to judge me because I just asked for nudes?
I don't know. Get better email address.
Okay, good. Okay, so I just did that live on the YouTubes. Thank you for reaching out. Okay, so back to Roosterendo, everybody. Okay.
I don't even care that Yamaha still sells brand new bikes with black pipes on them.
Michael Lechner.
OEM pipes.
Yeah.
They're still so cool.
Okay, back to Rooster Endo, everybody. I just took care of my my thing about your girlfriend. So this is his
17-ish Husky.
Let's see. I'll get you back to what we're looking at here. Is a long list. This is what we get, everybody. Look at all that. Look at all that information. It's Michael Lechner Jr. This is my 2014 Husaberg. Wait, hold on. Well, hold the horses. He said Husaberg. It does say Husaberg. Look at that radiator shroud. Son of a bitch.
Isn't that the Husky shroud?
Shut up. It says Husaberg.
Okay,
Don't beat on this guy. Husaberg TE250. It's the
No, that had to be like the last year.
There's coyotes running around the neighborhood, so just don't worry. I bought it used and it was completely clapped out. The previous owner took all the magnets out of the fork. I took the magnet out of the fork brake. So who knows how many hours it actually has. But it shows
from Matt.
So it shows 480 hours and almost 6,000 miles. I did a complete engine tear rebuild in December. It was a huge undertaking because I am not a mechanic and I had nothing but YouTube and factory service manual. So you wonder how he found us. Yeah, he probably came across us ding dongs on YouTube. So I've done it to make this my bike, and the build list is as follows. Okay, I'm going to scroll through here and mention anybody that's a sponsor. Tusk, Bulletproof Designs, rear chain guard. That's a good thing. Did lots of other things. The wrong seat. I have the same pipe on my bike. Okay, engine. He's using some Pro X parts. I've used some of those. They're all really good. Some all ball stuff. Use that. It's all been good. And now the cats are gonna go mate or something like that in the background.
I built a really
okay. So here's the thing. I hope it roosts now because it was an Endo when I bought it. Also, yes, that's a green stripe. He started riding at 39 and I just turned 41. And here's the important part. This is why I wanted to bring this up. And to other military veterans who are watching you and feel like mentioning it, Veteran MX, www.veteranmx.com, is a 501(c) veteran service organization dedicated to helping veterans heal and connect with other veterans through throttle therapy. There aren't too many of us off-road guys out there in our group, and I'd love if some other ones join me, especially in the Southwest chapter. Other veterans to ride with would mean more to me than winning Rooster Endo. So did you take that? Did you hear what he just said there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to...
So if we get you 2 riders, we give it to the 85 kid, and away we go.
Okay, so I'm going to try to put that in the restream. I actually want to copy the Veterans MX into our chat. I'm really trying right now with my G's. Okay, there, I got it now. Look at my skills here while trying to maneuver this mouse.
No idea how we have so many frames dropped on each.
Well, it's okay. So I'm putting in the chat. So if you're wondering how, let's see, paste, copy, there's Veterans MX in the chat. By the way, number one, thank you for your service. Welcome home if you were overseas and doing other stuff to allow us the freedoms that we've had to enjoy. Super stoked. Your bike, since it's a Husaberg, is awesome, but I have some questions. I have some issues. I think it's a Husky because look at the shape.
No, I don't remember that far.
Yeah, look at the shape there. I don't know if they were doing that in Husaberg. It kind of looks like
they did it right there at the end because they had. I want to say Husaberg had a big, like a big relook update right there at the end, and then they immediately went out of business.
Okay, so because the radiator shroud definitely has that Husaberg cut.
But I think that's just because Husky copied it because they bought Husky. Relatively
so you should have it. So we talked about your sponsors that conflicted with mine. So a couple issues here. Longtime Tech Talk Taco Tuesday issues will know number one. Issue number one. I got to bring my cursor over here and fix this. Do you see it? Do you see the hidden thing? He tried to shadow it out, but I'm going to show you right there. Look at that, everybody. That's a front disc protector.
It's not a front disc protector,
but it's bulletproof design, so it's the best one ever.
Aluminum one.
Next thing. Hey, Selma, what's going on with your buddies over here? They're having a cat war inside the garage. This is not a Trail Tech kickstand. Trail Tech kickstands, you would actually use the kickstand to park your bike on, and not a rock. Or maybe he was showing off and did a Graham Jarvis and landed there.
I approved by the rock kickstand.
Yeah, rock kickstand. Okay. You could use some DDC chain wheels on there. Pirelli tires would be nice. And other than that,
you didn't get on the Tueadsy train, huh?
No. I don't see Fasst Company flex handlebars. So I have a couple issues with the bike in general, but and then the good thing is this shot wasn't taken in your garage. But I hate to say it.
I'm gonna say it. That is a sweet looking bike.
Yeah, okay.
I like it.
But you're up against an 11-year-old kid on a Yamaha.
And I love that bike.
You can't.
That's just a cool looking bike. That kind of front fender that didn't last very long, but just super cool looking.
Yeah, our reconnection is successful. So I'm going to go. Well, my choice is I like the Vet MX guy. I hope you get some extra riders. I wish I would have brought this up earlier. We used to do Rooster Endo earlier in the show. Mm-hmm. If you want to submit a Rooster Endo, for sure do it. Watch other episodes. Tell a friend. You might win something. The $100 gift certificate for me goes to the 11-year-old kid. If, and only if, the 11-year-old kid sends me an email that he wrote himself to request the gift certificate. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's a tough ask. Otherwise, I'll give it to this guy here. Yeah. I don't want the kids to. I want the kids to be doing the work. You can't get handing stuff out. You know, your kid could submit one too, but I know Dad will do it and then just be cheating for that $100.
And I'll have to write return email too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you know, you can teach them a lesson about doing emails.
It is a brand new bike. It is going in the right direction.
Yeah,
skid plate handguards. That should be your first two. That should be your first two orders if you're going to pick up a bike. That should be the first two things you're ordering on the way home. Yeah, it's you know he's sporting the Blue Crew. I mean that's good. So yeah, I don't have any bias.
Did it come from his email? Let me see. It came from he came from his own email.
I don't know an 11-year-old that has an email.
Well, he has a cloud email address or something like that. I don't want to put his email address on the internet like I just did, but other than that, there we go. We'll click it up. So what do you think? You could go to the other one. You go to this one here.
What's our other picture here? Give me another picture.
Get another picture? Hold on a second. Another picture. They're all the bike, same one on the stand. He's got his green stripe. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm going to say that with no bias, absolutely no bias, I don't get paid from Yamaha.
No.
I'm just a fill-in. I say the Yamaha based on a guy needs some stuff.
The kid on the Yamaha needs stuff.
This bike needs nothing.
Okay.
It's got a nug on it. It's got
his dad just told him he will do it. I hope that kid's in bed and hasn't listened to us cuss for the last hour and a half and watch us drink. See, Jake's his dad. Yeah. Husaberg was PDS.
Or was PDS because they still had that 2008, 9, 10 KTM chapter.
Right. Yeah, that was Husky. Husky has always been linkage. Hold on, we're going back to the photo.
That's definitely a Husaberg front fender.
Let's go to the other thing. It's a good question. We're curious.
Nonetheless, though, I mean that bike realistically needs. It's got. I mean, the guy even sprung for the Squadron. I mean,
right. Yeah, he's got.
You don't need a Squadron on your race bike. You know, if it's got numbers on it doesn't need a Squadron.
Hey, if you want to go riding with this guy, well, let's see here. I have to. I got to zoom in on the other one. I'm operating two screens here. It's pretty difficult.
Looks like a linked bike.
Does it look like a link? I mean, it looks like a link, only that it's not up onto the rock all the way. That's the advantage of not having a link, because you would get that tire all the way up to the front of.
Yeah, the rear tire would have been bumped into the rock.
Yeah. Yeah. So it may be. Let me see. I'm gonna have to zoom it out a little bit more here.
as much work as this guy put into it, I feel like he would know that it's a Husaberg. So,
yeah,
you know,
he did call it a Husaberg. Can't see. Okay, we're calling it. We're going for the Yamaha. So Wyatt,
that is the updated chassis. Well, updated for the time.
Yeah, it's the what year did he say it was?
I think 2011 is when KTM went to it.
Yeah, so 2014. That's getting close to when they got clipped. So kind of an interesting,
cool.
Interesting thing.
But yeah, I say give it to the kid. I mean, we've got suspension on this thing. Oh, it's an XL Pro too. It's a big one.
Yeah, he's got. Well, he might have bought it that way, and it came with all the cool stuff.
Yeah,
so
I'm just saying, that thing's got the stuff on it.
What does the chat say? We'll check the chat real quick and see what it says. Porch on my porch. I can send you the picture of the. Oh wait, he's on the chat. Here we go. He's there. He's responding quickly. I always like that. Hey, you know what, Michael? Send me a picture of that PDS on your porch, and I'll see what I can do for you. Because I love our vets. He's giving me all the info that we need. 2014.5 is when the production line went to history. That's a toss-up, Berg, for me. So the chat's coming in. I'm gonna try to hook both you guys up because we took a week off, so I evidently have one in the bank. Both you guys are winners. That's how everybody's a winner on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. We're winners because we're gonna shut this damn show down. We've gone way too long. Glad that there's 22 million people still watching the show.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'd like to call it 22,000, but 22 million. We'll go with that. Again, go back, check our, check out the www.dirtbiketest.com. Go to our YouTube channel, share it. Tell your friends that need to learn some of this stuff to just play this in their car when they're driving around their block in their neighborhood around in circles because they can't go riding dirt bikes like we can right out of our porch here. And
I don't think it rained.
It didn't rain here, so I'm going to go work like a normal person tomorrow. I would have ditched out, and then I'm going to go have a cat war here in a minute. So thank you, everybody. Cheers, and we'll see you on the next show. We doing this next week? Coming back?
Maybe become
a regular co-host.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. We'll see you out in the trails. Cheers. We're gonna stop this show. How do you shut this damn thing off?
If you liked what you saw in this video, come check us out over at dirtbiketest.com on the webs. We have bike tests, product tests, a lot of fresh dirt, and you can even support us by clicking through our links. Hopefully, we'll see you out in the trail.